Early summer in the country, naked man just in one high. Like a bees you'd be a buzzing, like birds flying in the sky. With our hands and feet all dirty, we'll get baked in the sun. We're down on our worries now, pick us up a little fun, cause it really don't matter. What's my own rings of it.
Welcome to the Salem Disc Golf Academy 2016 tournament. Proceeds this year benefit the Alzheimer's Association. I'm joined in the studio with Don Alexander on the lead card today, otherwise known as Sidearm Don.
Thanks, Jay, and good to be here. Course looked really great that day.
Thanks, Don. Here we get a look at the course. We got 21 holes here at Salem Disc Golf Academy. During the tournaments, we skipped holes 6 and 8, so we got 19 holes up for grabs today. Here we get a look at the lead card. There's you, Don.
Hey, good looking group.
On hole 1, this is a new hole here in the last 6 months or so. When baskets moved, it's shortened up, but it is a tight fairway, hyzer shot.
Josh has a good swing. When he releases that disc, it just flies.
Didn't look real happy with that throw. Cyrus is out of Chillicothe. Pulled that one way wide right, but got lucky.
Got through.
Here we go. Started the tournament. What's going through your head?
Just throw correctly.
That's always it.
And I didn't.
It looks good, though. The
Yeah,
only sidearm thrower.
it stood up on me and rolled backwards. Yeah, Rick, he gets up there and just throws.
Yeah. Did you see that? It looks like it air bounced off the ground.
Yeah.
That's a nice layup. Is that what you were trying to do?
Pretty much. I mean, I went at it a little bit, but I just wanted to make sure I didn't throw 100 feet past it. I think Jared's going to have the same thought.
Looked like he was trying to Anheuser that one all the way and just didn't get it turned over. And there's Rick with his quick pull again. He doesn't even give the cameraman enough time.
He doesn't. Josh with his CTP. That's good frustration right there.
Yeah, that's got to be heartbreaking.
I was happy with the par after that drive.
Now he pretty much ended up 3 pars, and Jared bogeyed that hole. That one will sting. Hopefully he can just forget that one and move on to hole number 2. One of my favorites out here. Another one where the baskets moved, made the hole a little bit longer and a little bit tighter.
That tree right there definitely comes into play. But didn't bother Josh at all. One of the best throws I've seen on that hole.
Yeah. I remember him hitting that basket, and we got some hand clapping going on from the gallery and everything there.
With the tee box designed that way, I can throw on the other side of that tree, which allows me more room.
We always have this conversation about luck versus skill, and I think luck came into play there at the end of that throw. I remember that thing barely getting through the trees. I don't know how Rick makes that disc bounce off the ground like that. If you watch his drives, it's amazing. Maybe it's an illusion.
That's solid.
Yeah, that's a nice looking drive. Nice skip.
I didn't think I'd get there, but
Just a simple pull back and swing.
You got a little floppy on you there.
Yeah, it went a little deep on me. It's supposed to turn quicker.
Boy, Jared ended up in a rough spot on that sweet drive.
Yeah, he just guarded everything. was
Yeah,
guarded.
you can't get through there.
I left myself much too far away.
What are you putting with?
A rock. I've putted with the rock for years. I've had that particular rock for about 12 years.
I believe you've had that since I've been playing disc golf with you for the last 5 years or so. Josh pulled off a birdie on that one, the only solo birdie. On to hole number 3 here. This is probably the first signature hole on the course. It's got a big old drop off downhill to the left.
It's tough for a sidearm. I try to do an ante on this, but you got to be really careful on it.
Got Josh Hatfield up first here. Looks like he's down off to the right of the basket.
Tad short.
Not a bad shot, though. I'd say there's the shot, even though he's a little deep.
Am I doing backhand? Yep.
Yep.
Tried it. Got caught early.
And that's what happens
I
when
got
you're a
penalized.
sidearm thrower.
I got penalized for it.
This is actually, you're throwing 3. You threw a little roller down there, if you remember. I
Yes,
barely
I
caught it.
did. Yeah, I took 2 bogeys in a row on that last 2 holes.
And you know, speaking of which, that's something as a disc golfer, you've really got to learn how to keep your cool and just move on to the next hole, don't you?
Oh, yes. You can't relive the past. It's done. It's already on the scorecard. You just have to look at the next hole and focus in on, and make sure that you just correct whatever mistakes and try to throw solid.
And I don't know how many times, I'm not usually one of them, but I've seen people who can forget that and move on and have great rounds.
Some of my better rounds have started off with bogeys. Some of my worst rounds ended with bogeys. And had them in the middle. There's that Zuka cart.
I'll have me one of them one of these days when I get old like you.
Yes.
I'm just kidding.
Thanks for the reminder.
You're in better shape than I am.
Look, adding them up, you just got to move on.
Hole number 4 here. This is a lot longer than 325, even though that's what the sign says. I swear it plays like 450.
Josh has his First Capital shirt on. That's a new club out of Chillicothe.
I'm a member. Are you a member?
Yes, sir.
Good guys down there. Good things going on.
All 4 of us were our members there.
Yeah, representing strong.
I believe all 3, Jared, Josh, and Rick, are all from Chillicothe, or at least the area.
Yeah.
Jared going with the sidearm. I'm wearing my Flyware Apparel shirt. Jim Toll out of Lancaster.
Is that what you call one of them shameless plugs?
Yes.
That was a beautiful drive, by the way.
That was
That's-
one of my best.
That's about the best I've ever seen.
That
Rick
was
got
a-
caught up in the trees here.
My shot was just a sidearm ante with a flex at the end to make it come back.
Jared has a knack of finding those tight spots on the second shot.
There's for birdie.
Not too many birds on this hole.
He didn't miss it by much.
Hit the
either.
rim.
Is that what you call a rim job? Am I allowed to say that?
Depends on how you think.
I can't remember if I make it or not.
And you
Hey, that's a good birdie on that hole. Just like Josh is on hole 2.
Yep.
You don't see many
Yep.
of them.
This one used to be the hardest hole on the course. When we first put
Yes.
it in, it was so tight. And then, that was before the Bruce Free loaned us the property on the hillside to make those really nice tight holes over there.
Thank you, Bruce.
Yes, exactly. This hole's got an interesting tee pad. You can't really see it, but you see that big tree leaning up there. That is the tee box.
And you're throwing underneath the fallen tree. Unless you're Josh, he throws over it.
Well, he's 7 foot tall. That helps. This hole's got all kinds of hazards. There's a huge ravine right in front of the hole that's all out of bounds.
Out of bounds on the left.
I about get hit by the disc right here.
Yeah, you did.
I think that's the longest Rick has ever taken for a throw.
I was thinking the same thing. Yeah, you can see the OB marked there.
Yeah, and it is treacherous down there.
Nice bridge, by the way.
Yeah, that made that hole a lot nicer. It used to be treacherous and dangerous and everything else to try to get back across there.
A lot of improvements over the years on your course.
Thank you. There we go.
Wow.
There we go. That's what we were talking
Cyrus.
about, because he's had some string of bad luck, and he shook it off, and I guarantee you that changed his whole attitude in that one shot. So you think you was playing it safe there? And
Nope. Just
going
bad-
for it?
Just too low of a putt. And it's funny. It's everybody who throws disc golf will tell you can get up on a putt and sometimes you just know before you release it.
I know exactly
Just
what you mean.
Standing there, whether you're going to make it or not, and it's tough to walk away from that and get it out of your head before you actually putt. That's
I know
what I should have
exactly
done.
what you mean. Here's a hole that's changed dramatically. It actually used to have 2 tee pads, and the basket was about where the cameraman is standing.
Yep.
And it's quite a bit more difficult where it's at in its current location. It's not real long, but it's just a tricky shot coming out of that tee pad.
It's just a nice little sidearm shot, but for some reason it's got me. I cannot seem to find the range.
The video doesn't really show it, but there's a pretty major elevation change, down in the dip and back up the hill that adds to the element.
Rick had a little rollaway, but he's not too bad a shape.
That's a pretty shot right there. Oh,
That's a pretty putt.
2 birdies in a row.
Yep. Putting wasn't on. Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde
Yep.
syndrome. Looking at you like, "Arr."
I tell you, it's a good thing Jared started coming on strong, because Josh is starting to run away with it. He's keeping him honest.
Josh won the tournament over there at OU in Chillicothe. He won the. No, he didn't win the Pike Lake. Dustin England won that, but
Was Josh at the Pike Lake? I don't remember seeing him down there.
I think he was.
He could have been. I was needless to say, I was not on the lead card, so I wouldn't know.
This is a tough hole to get through.
Yes, it is.
It's what would you say, 125 feet
yeah, probably.
to the outside of this line of trees, and I mean it's wide enough to take a motorcycle through, but
Getting out is key.
yes,
Just getting out, and then you can go for your par. There's been a couple handfuls of birdies, but that's about it.
and you got that Mando there.
Yeah. You can't see it on the video, but Josh was thinking about going the wrong way around that Mando, and this nice cameraman came along and said, hey, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I wasn't watching him, but I heard you say that, and I looked over and I thought, oh man, I'm glad you said that, because that you don't want that to happen to anybody.
No, we all want everybody to do good, even if it's for money or pride or whatever. You see this unique basket here. This is a tribute to my dad, of course. He built swings for people and would give them away and would never take any money. So after his passing, we decided we're going to tribute him and make this swing. It's got his sayings and his favorite songs and everything, and it's a nice talking point here, and everybody, they follow along and they sing the songs. And Josh actually landed on the swing bench right there. Those are no fun.
Yeah, he moved that, made that a moving target for me.
There you go with a birdie. Yeah, not too many.
That's probably a good hole to get a birdie. Yeah, smiling real big now.
I'll tell you who's sneaking up here, and you don't really notice, is Rick. Seems to be starting to put a move on.
This is another hole that's changed a little bit, because it never used to have that mando, but it is swampy on the left side.
Yeah, this time of year, you throw a disc down in there, it's not coming back.
Yeah, that's nice. So I have to throw that ante again, and it worked out all right.
Really, with this one, no one's ever birdied it, so the best thing you can do is just throw it out there to the right and hope for par.
Jared, he skinned by the tree, didn't he?
Yeah,
Josh
he was
missed
close.
the mando first round.
Yeah. When he walked up right there, he said, "Not this time." I'll never forget it. He was dead serious.
Took the long way.
That's a really nice line around the outside like that to get up there for a par.
Yeah, you said no one's birdied this yet?
Nope, but Josh just about did. He just hit that rim again.
He run right at it.
And that looks easy maybe, but that is not. That is such a tight line.
Everybody's running for it.
Jared got a little greedy there, trying to get 3 out of the last 4 holes of birdie, and it cost him. Oh, those hurt.
Yeah.
I think that'd be about 2 of them I've seen him have in the early stages of this round. All right, so after 8, we got a 3-way tie for second, and Josh is up 4 strokes. Now we're heading over to the free property, and these holes are tight, and I am not kidding, as you can see. Might have a 6-foot wide fairway there.
I was happy to get by that tree.
Yeah, you're still probably 50 feet away or better from the hole, but it's just so happy to get by on this short hole. Rick's shot looking real nice.
That's another fairway where you could take a dirt bike through, but that's about it.
Yep,
you can't walk 2 abreast.
Believe it or not, that's how that trail started. That was how Tucker rode his dirt bike through there.
Who's that old man sitting there while Jared's throwing?
Trying to catch his breath. I think he pulled that one deep and right.
Yeah.
That's a nice recovery right there.
Yeah. I don't know. Did he have any bogeys the second round, this round?
I can't remember to be sure, but I don't remember any. I remember a bunch of birdies.
I think
number
I was
3.
Just say everybody birdied this hole but me, but I guess not. Yeah, he's had 3 spit outs.
Boy, I'll tell you, he went deeper than I thought.
Oh, he missed that.
And missed it. Yep, he must have a bogey on this one. Actually, he had a bogey on the porch swing.
Oh, that's right.
Basket.
Yeah.
He should have had it. It landed on the seat, but that was a short little hole. But as you can see, it can get you.
This one, I think, is the toughest hole on the course.
I don't think you'll find any argument on that.
You have to go up that hill, and then an equal distance back down the hill to the left.
Yep. We missed Rick's shot. He had a pretty good shot, but he's just too quick. He jumped up there, and I think I was changing batteries. But
quick draw Magill.
And when you don't play this hole a lot, that's usually what happens with that hill right there. You kind of throw it up in the air.
This is the hill you got hit on. Not
over on the other side, yeah, for doubles when I was recording.
Yeah.
Luckily, I had a one of them old Camel water pack things, and it hit it instead of me. So
it was Brian. He threw that hard.
Brian
He threw it
Cornell.
hard at you too.
I think he's doing it on purpose.
He did. He aimed at it. He looked over at me and said, I'm going to hit Jay with this.
Hey, I learned a valuable lesson that day.
I encouraged him. You learned a lesson to stay out of the fairway?
Yeah, sometimes trying to get the best shot isn't always the best idea. On top of this hole being up and down the hill and long, you can see it's not really very open either, is it?
No. Tight fairway. Every hole on this side is a tight fairway.
Luckily, we're using digital cameras now. If I was back to using 16 millimeter film, I probably would have ran out with all the shots on this hole.
Yes, there's quite a few. Get in there.
Boy, that was a good run at it.
And oh, shot down.
I think this is Rick's par shot, right?
We'll find out. I think you're right.
Ooh, right height. Just kiss the top of that barrel.
Yeah. Skimmed right past it.
So 3 bogeys and a double. I call that a tough hole when that's what your lead card pulls off. This next hole is one of my favorite holes on the course. The basket is actually in an old tree trunk. Very short hole, but it's still tight. Actually have an ace on this hole. A few months back, Rodney Havens threw the perfect shot.
I was there.
What the neighbors must have thought when they heard those screams and squeals and cheering going on.
Well, the course has changed through the years. The first 2 years it was in the ground, I never threw it twice. Came out often and never threw it twice the same.
I think that was it was fun, but also when people wanted to come out and try to learn the course, I could see a little bit of frustration in them because they didn't know where they were going. Now, finally, I think with this permanent layout, people are really. Oh, that was a great shot.
Yeah, good bird. I think birds on this are tough. There's 2 of them.
I think we missed your second shot on this when you were down deep.
That's good.
I think you
it was bad.
You struggled on this hole.
Yeah.
I remember right.
Perfect timing. I normally par this easily, but on a tournament day, why do you want to do that?
Yeah. If you could only decide.
Yeah,
you bogeyed
that was
that
a bug.
Now I believe this one is probably the second toughest hole on the course.
Oh, yeah. Up the hill to the right.
Yeah, I think the widest stretch is 6 feet wide right there in the middle if you can hit that spot and keep going straight.
Straight. It's treacherous to the right. It's treacherous to the left.
What just happened right there is really a good drive.
Yeah, it is.
If you go
halfway up.
Yeah. If you get out of the center, see, that's not what you want to happen. You don't want it to bounce out of that fairway.
He got through, though, didn't he?
I think the worst part about it is just the stress of wondering if you're going to get through. Because no matter how good you are, you could be Wysocki or Macbeth or anybody, and you're going to look at this hole and think, who designed this stuff?
Threw a first-run boss on that throw. That's what I normally throw on that hole. I was talking to it, trying to convince her to get through, but
I remember this shot from Josh, really particularly. I think that could be the best shot of the round from anyone. There was nothing there, and he put that thing about 15 feet in front of the basket.
it was that first initial he had about in the first 10 feet.
Yeah.
If you can get that in a certain spot within that 10 feet, it'll go. And he hit it.
On the flip side, this is the hole where Rick started to lose his composure. That looked like it was going in.
Again with my bogey. If I get one, I
Come
got
in
two.
pairs. I tell you, that's an amazing save right there. I didn't think anyone had a shot at a par on this hole.
picked his disc up for him. He didn't like that.
Some people like to make them. I guess Jared also parred that hole, so good job there. This is a fun little hole. It's kind of tough to get out of the tee pad. It's tight, but then it opens up a little bit. But you got out of bounds on the left, too, so you got to be careful.
And it goes straight and then drops down a little hill. You can't see the basket from the tee box.
Really, that shot Josh just threw was, you know, what you want to shoot for right there. Jared pulled it right. There's usually one of them in every bunch on this hole.
Yeah.
You trying to give some direction there?
Yes. Oh, yes. I talked to my disc.
Some of them listen. Jared has a good recovery shot here. Really nothing. He's got nothing. And somehow he finds a way through.
Plants it. Josh for birdie.
Yep. A little high. This is to save par for Jared. And he squeaks it in there. Well, he showed you the way.
Yeah, I needed more than that, I think, if I remember correctly.
I think your memory's better than you thought.
Oh, it was in, but
It just didn't stay in.
yeah. I like your design on the basket. You can't those blue barrels. And you
just the
painted them
plastic
brown.
drums and
Bicycle rim at the top.
I do have a new thing coming up. We've been playing a lot of glow golf, and the other night I had an epiphany that I need to get some glow-in-the-dark paint and start painting some numbers and some designs on the holes, and I've got these lights to put inside, and it's really going to
That's awesome.
really going to dress it up at night. The neighbors will be wondering what the heck's going on, but they'll get over it. Here's a sidearm hole for you.
Yep. It turns pretty quick when it turns. I mean, it's out there 150, 170 feet before the turn,
Yeah.
and then it slopes right down the hill.
Got to be careful you don't go long,
Yeah.
especially if you are a good sidearm thrower. That's a long birdie shot here.
Typically, if you can make that turn, you got a shot
Yeah.
of some kind at it.
And if you were smart, you just kind of lay it up there on the hill and
Yep.
have a look at it, but who wants to do that?
Yeah. Why go for 3 when you can go for 2, like Josh just did? Got one to stick.
Yep. Been a while. I think Rick's getting a little frustrated at this point. He had such a good run going. There was a time where he was actually ahead by a stroke on this background if you didn't count the front. And then that number 14, boy, it ate him up, and he's just kind of going downhill ever since. And it just happens. It happens to all of us.
Now, that Mando's not in play here, correct?
It really isn't in play. It's just up there just to let people know that the house is over there. You know, there isn't a Mando arrow on the backside of that tree as well. Boy, you got a hold of that one. It kicked up on you and started rolling.
Yeah,
You're
that's
headed up there to
right.
get you something to eat.
Yeah. And that was good food they provided.
Yeah. Yeah, the Alzheimer's people really took care of us that day. And we raised over $1,000 for them. And, you know, we didn't have a huge turnout, but the people that came really gave. And we had a lot of raffle items. And, you know, next year we're going to have some more Players Pack items and try to get some more people out here and raise some more money for the Alzheimer's Association.
Oh, yeah, that shot went out of bounds.
Yep. And I remember you forgot that was out of bounds there.
Yeah. I would have thrown differently if I had remembered that. I mean, it's not like I couldn't see a yellow tape.
Yeah. Well, but normally, you know, we don't play that out of bounds here, and we do have doubles here every Wednesday, so you get used to it, and
Yeah.
you gotta almost have somebody remind you.
But when a mistake like that happens, you just shake your head and, move
You
on.
do. I let it eat me up, and then I usually just shoot really bad the rest of the round. But I'm getting better about it. I really am.
Here's a hole that's named after me. No sidearm.
We like to torture you.
Double Mando hole that no sidearms allowed. So it's a backhand hole. Or roller as far as that goes.
Yeah, yeah.
I missed the Mando twice the first round. So this round I'm definitely going to get wider.
The reason those Mandos are there, basically, the one on the left is to protect the house you can see, and the one on the right is to protect the house across the road. So.
And also the fairway, isn't it?
And the fairway's down there, too, with people on the tee pad. So it's just a short little hole, and just to make it a little tougher. And you also have the road down behind it, for an OB. So for a short hole like this, it can be tough, as Jared is showing us here. He missed the Mando this time.
Now, when they rethrow from the tee, you don't take a penalty stroke.
No, a lot of courses will have a drop zone, and you take a penalty stroke, and the drop zone will put you into an area where you'll have a shot at the basket. Here, just save the confusion. You just re-tee. Unless, of course, you missed a Mando on the second time, like Don did today.
Yeah.
Just kind of simplifies things, and plus it feels good not to get a penalty stroke. Am I right?
Absolutely.
We had some CTPs donated today by Hazy Shade and Discraft, and Jared just won one of them right there. This is probably my favorite hole on the course. And it's probably because I birdie it about half the time now.
Yep. You have to get a strong throw. I don't know how far it says it is, but you need to add about another 70 feet.
Yeah, that incline up the hill really adds a lot.
Took me a long time to learn that. I threw a Discraft crank here, and I can barely miss that tree, but then it'll go.
The problem is, too, to get it there, you kind of have to have a little bit of height. And then when you get 50 feet or 70 feet in front of the basket, there's a bunch of tree canopy that hangs down.
Yep.
So it's very rare to get through. But for some reason, I've had a ton of luck on this hole lately, and it just really shines for me. I remember Jared, after you threw your shot, it was like a light bulb went off. He said, "Oh, yeah, I never thought about that sidearm throw."
It's there.
And that's what's fun, too, playing with different people. You learn so much.
Another one I thought he had.
Just caught that limb. What I love about watching Josh putt is, that distance for me is the most aggravating. What do you think? He's 25 feet out there, maybe.
Right.
And, after having that shot before, I would just be on edge, and he just steps up there and he doesn't ease up. He just throws it. And
good form.
I learned a lot watching him that day putting.
It's one of my closest to the pins drives I've ever had on that hole.
Nice birdie. You've birdied a couple three tough holes. You birdied 4.
Yeah, all the tough ones.
All the tough ones. Yeah, just when they're too short.
Yeah. Let the easy. Here's another no sidearm. Again, to protect the house, not complaining, just making a statement.
Sure. This hole has changed so many times.
Yeah.
It seemed like the basket would be moved, and it used to be at the point where you thought you should get a birdie every time, but a lot of people weren't birdieing it. So I thought, well, let's make it harder so they'll feel like at least if they don't get the birdie, it wasn't their fault.
Right.
Add a little fun element to it, so to speak. And it's really been received well.
Well, you put a lot of work trimming and taking trees out and that.
I get a lot of help, but thank you. I do get a lot of help. People come out and volunteer all the time. That's what's great about this sport.
I got a CTP on this
You
hole.
You did. Speaking of shameless plugs, I really appreciate the help we got from Hazy Shade and Discraft this year. It was, it makes everything easier, especially when you're talking about a great cause and donating all the proceeds. It's just really, it's a great thing. Great community we have. All right, here we go. Last hole.
Handshakes around, high fives.
Yep.
Head over and get something to drink.
It was a hot one this day.
Ended fairly well with those two birds back to back on the. Basically, we threw 19 holes that day, so it'd be on the 17th and 18th holes.
And that's the great thing about disc golf. You can go from being so frustrated to I just had the best shot of my career on that
Right.
hole, and all of a sudden that's all that matters, you know.
Yeah, Rick's shot. He takes it in stride pretty well.
Oh, he does. Rick's one of the funnest people to throw with. He knows disc
Oh, yeah.
better than anybody I know.
Yes.
Him and Rodney Havens can tell you exactly what every disc, every brand, every color, whatever, they know exactly what it does, which is great to have because I don't know many.
I want to say also on a shot like what Rick just had, people who get frustrated and cuss and throw things and get all mad, that doesn't help your game at all.
No.
And if you remain calm, I think you can recover better.
Absolutely.
Don's tips or something. Tips from Don. That's a tough basket too, the way it's elevated.
Absolutely. It's a great way to finish.
I wanted this putt. I really, really wanted that putt.
Well, you can tell you went for it. You didn't come up short.
Went right over it.
I like you got a little showdown here with with Josh. Smiles all around. Great round, fellas. Great calls. Here we go with the final. Josh is dominated today. He showed up, never played this course, and just took over. Really impressive rounds.
Seen that happen many times. People come in and throw a course blind and throw well. And your brother Scott came right up and tied for
chase card.
Second place.
Yep. I tell you, every name on that screen right there is a close friend of mine. I really appreciate all the support. Take a look at the other classes today. Dax, first year, youngster, he came out and threw his heart out. Jake Mincy had his best round ever. Dylan Estep also had a great round. And you get a look at the overalls. If your name is on that list, we sure appreciate you coming out. All in all, I think it was a great day.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't think you could ask for much better people. You know, it didn't rain, it was hot, but beautiful day, beautiful course.
A lot of prizes given out.
Tons of.
Raffle was good.
I wish we had some pictures of that. That was really incredible how much people gave. Until next time, we'll see you on the course.
See ya.
Later. You packed your bags, moved up north. Yeah, you know where to be found, but it really don't matter. Yeah, I hope you're doing just fine.